Welcome to this demo of the Envosound relativistic arpeggiator. Today we're going to walk through the basic features, as well as cover the background of how it came into existence. Writing computer games back on 8-bit computers in the 80s, the hardware was pretty basic and it consisted of a few channels, maybe 3-4 channels of sound, where you had a square wave, basically an analog square wave controlled by the computer. You could control the amplitude. I think it only had like 4 bits of volume control, and you could control the pitch of one of 256 values or so. You could get some pretty basic just beeps and stuff out of that until people found a better way of doing it. And the place I saw this first was on the BBC Micro, and it consisted of a thing called an envelope, where there was basically 16 integers which defined a patch. And the first thing it defined was an amplitude envelope, and everybody kind of knows how these works, you know, the ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. So you can do basic stuff like great. That's kind of okay, it gives you a basic level of control, but the thing it also did was allow you to control the pitch along with the volume. And it did this sort of in line, so whilst the envelope was playing you could change the pitch too. And that could lead to sort of some basic things, like you could put like a 12 semitone single change, you know, so you could create like an attack sound. Like that, but if we make it faster. Like this. And then we could start to loop this around, so if we slow this down a bit, obviously you go fast like this, you get. Okay, so everyone's heard that kind of sound, and you can do other things, like obviously you can create a chord here by going up sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, and then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we just do that, every note we play now you'll get a chord. And obviously that's a major chord we've got there. And we can loop that round. But obviously we've not got quite a full chord there. Actually we do, don't we? But if we go back down again, back down the whole octave, and we can kind of get back to where we started, and we can kind of get an arpeggio going. Things don't need to be so regular. We can create patterns there. One thing I wanted to show you actually was the thing I've been using to kind of see these patterns, and I guess you've been looking too, is this step display here. And you can see how it shows what's happening. So if you just go back to something simple here, we can see we have 1 semitone up. And obviously that's looping around there. And then we can control the octave range that we want the notes to appear in. So we can just have a very small range there. And we can say if it goes out of that range, then just to stop. Or we can say it goes silent. And that becomes useful when we've got loops, patterns that wrap around. Because, let's see. Or we can just clamp at that value. Let's go back to the basic init patch, and let's try some other things. So you can see here we've been running on a scale here of chromatic, but if we go to, say, a major scale, then offsets are different. If we just go up one at a time, we'll do like a major scale here of, or a minor scale. Okay, and we can also do any one of these other scales. So we can do microtonal. Microtonal 4 divides each semitone into 4. And this was kind of the tuning that we used to use on the computer games because it allowed us to get finer control. So we can get nice glide sound effects. We'll see if we do that like this. We can create a siren by going up and down. There, if we go back to chromatic. And if we even go to octaves. Okay, so kind of crazy sounds. And then let me just show you microtonal 16s. This is very small changes now. Almost imperceptible tone changes and very smooth effects. Okay, so there's one other mode I wanted to show you here, which was as played. And this is basically the ways that most arpeggiators work. This basically takes the notes that you play on the keyboard and uses them as the scale from which the notes will come out. So if we play like a F minor, so let's do something a bit more reasonable here. Let's just do like 4 notes up and then 4 notes down. So we can play anything we like. And then, you know, obviously if you just press one note, then it will do whole octaves. 2 notes, it'll play fifths. And 3 notes, it'll play chords. And even sevenths. So let's just go back to a basic patch again, and I'll show you now some more advanced features. So you can see how we've got the clock rate. And it moves nice and smoothly between them as we change. That's set by this glide time, so we can make this instantaneous. And that is always locked to the beat. So if we had a metronome playing like this, okay, so it changes the speed but always keeps it locked to the beat. We can also control this with the modulation wheel, so actually the pitch bend wheel, so we can, as we can see here, we've got an 8x. If we just change it to say like 4x there, we should be able to go up to 4 times faster using the pitch bend. And again slower, we do it the other way, down. And that can be used for interesting sound effects. So again, if we put it up to a faster rate, let's go back, say doing some kind of chord like this, and then we can go, actually let's set this back to something reasonable like this as well. I'm going to do this trusty sequence, and then we can go super fast. Now, one last feature I want to show you is something that we added as a way to sort of create more interesting sound effects. So if we're just playing something like this, we can say what a delta to the pitch would be. So over time we can make the delta grow bigger. And you can see here on the step display what's happening. So something like this. By default, we can do the same thing to the count, so we can make the count gradually grow. So you may not see a lot there, but if we bring it in, we can go. Or if we've got a high count already, we can make the count go smaller. So one other interesting thing that's maybe worth showing is that rather than just doing straight arpeggios, one of the things you can get with these relativistic steps is glissandos. So if we just make it as played, and we'll just go down one semitone at a time, say once there, and have that looping, then if we play a chord, actually let's play it at a more reasonable speed, then we go, and this will be for any chord. So yeah, you probably don't want that wrapping around, so you just say stop when you get to the bottom. But then you could also, you know, do like 2 down and 1 up, so you can get a slightly more complicated pattern. Which is not 1 up, is it? It's 1 down. So two semitones down and 1 up. You can change the chord as you play. Or if we go back to say chromatic or something, we can put in a chord sequence here. So if we play that, just make that loop around. Or we could just stop, so every key press now is a chord. Okay, so I think that gives you a good introduction to all the sort of the key features of the relativistic arpeggiator. Obviously I've not touched any of the oscillator stuff yet, maybe we'll cover that in a separate video. And don't forget, a free download of Envosound is available on the Tsuga Audio website.